we do down here on the ground on these bunks is that we assemble half bents. And we start out with 2 of the main posts. This is a round log that's Douglas fir, and it's been pre-cut for the mortises, for the beams and everything out in Colorado. And we set these 2 main posts on the bunks. Those 2 main posts have steel that need to be installed inside of them. Once the steel is installed into the pockets, they're bolted in with 1-inch bolts. Here is an example right here of one of the bolts that goes into the frame. This is probably one of the smaller of the bolts that go into this. And they fit right into the pre-drilled pockets. Once we get the steel installed on the posts, then we start bringing the intermediate pieces in. It has an intermediate post that is part of the ramp system that will be installed inside of the Ark. And the ramp has supporting beams that are at different heights depending on where it is in the building. They have knife plates and bolts that hold the knife plates, and the beams go in, and then in some cases there's some blocks that are installed to support the beams. This is just a supporting block that gets bolted onto the intermediate post for the ramp system. The bottoms of the posts fit into some steel bases that are already mounted up on the deck. Once we get the 2 posts set in position on the bunks, we get some of the intermediate pieces set on the bunks as well, and we insert all the knife plates that have to go in, and we start pulling the thing together. And look, you can see that there's a come-along that we use, pretty heavy-duty come-alongs. Sometimes we'll have to use the heavy equipment to give the whole thing a nudge because it's pretty heavy. We squeeze the whole thing together, and then once it's all squeezed together, we check everything for square. The more square it is down here when we assemble it, when it gets stood up there, it's a lot easier for the guys who have to pull it together with the connecting girts that go between the bents. Well, this is a base plate. This little piece right here gets embedded into some grout that has a pocket to receive that up on the concrete deck. And this is the sleeve right here that receives the bottom of the posts. The reason that this sleeve is as long as it is because this particular one has a brace coming into it, and it needs this much welding on the side of that base plate to receive that brace. And it happens to be a very massive piece. I might be able to move this piece, but I could not pick that up. We use equipment to pick that up. That's a heavy piece of steel right there. Right here it measures 7/8 thick plate at the bottom. This is the inside of the pocket, measures 18 by 18. We also have these, which we call sandwich plates, that go on the sides of the glue lambs. The glue lambs are the curved pieces that form the side of the shape of the ship. And we put one of these on each side. On one side of the plates has a bracket for the interconnecting girts that go between the glue lambs. And in addition to those, we have a lot of knife plates that go between beams. When the structure is all completed, you won't see very many of these, but these are all in between all of the posts and the beams, and they add strength to the building. We don't know if Noah did this kind of thing, but it's pretty important on a commercial building to make sure that it's engineered well enough for large crowds, and that's why we have to make sure that there's enough steel to hold this thing together. Even though it's a wooden structure, some steel is required for the strength and the wind load of the project. On average, we can do a half bent a day. We had a couple real good days where we were able to stand up 2 half bents in one day. It's been a process where we've had to figure it out a little bit as we go. There isn't another one of these in the world, and it's not a cookie cutter type of project. So we've been able to work a lot of the bugs out and got this thing pretty well figured out how to assemble. That's a very brief description of the assembly process. We get the posts in, put the intermediate pieces in, we pull it all together, we square it up, we put some bracing on it using LVLs. The braces hold it together until it's up in place, and then it's secured to the building. It's an amazing sight to see one of these things go up.